News now.
Hi, I'm Lisa Jansen, and this is The News at Night. On tonight's show, REM team up with Natalie Merchant for a pro-choice album. Smashing Pumpkins and their contribution to No Alternative. Fundamental on having hits, and The Prodigy on their future. First off tonight, we bring you our special Monday report, where we take an in-depth look at an issue in the news. Holland has always been known for its liberal policies towards soft drugs, but things are changing, and soon authorities might not be turning a blind eye towards drugs tourists. Today we look at the changing attitudes towards cannabis and speak to the politicians who are leading the fight to toughen Holland's drug laws. If they have their way, the coffee shop culture could soon change.
Every day, the small Dutch town of Maastricht experiences a new kind of European Union.
We have about 500, 600, 700 visitors, drugs tourists a day. Drugs tourism, that means people from other countries come to Holland to buy soft drugs, to buy drugs.
Ça fait 7 ans que je vis ici à Maastricht. Le premier temps, j'étais dans un coffee shop ici plus loin dans la rue. Je venais en train, mais c'est fort dangereux avec la police. Alors, 2-3 ans plus tard, j'ai eu ma voiture. J'allais dans un autre coffee shop alors. Ça fait 2 ans que je vais ici au Lucky Time, 2-3 fois par semaine à peu près.
It's not only Holland that have to deal with drug tourism. Amsterdam is also a big magnetic pole for cannabis lovers from around the world.
Getting stoned, sure. It's what Amsterdam's for, isn't it?
A lot of tourists do come here because they don't have the paranoia and the constrictions. They're able to smoke free and not have to worry about it.
This climate of tolerance could be changing soon, as indicated by the recent controversial proposal of Gert Kofferman.
As a Dutchman, I love trade, and of course, every Dutchman wants to make big money now in hotels and shopping everywhere, but not with drugs. And the only way to make an end of this type of market is to introduce a rule that people from abroad cannot buy anymore in Holland.
This new proposal is coming after a year that has seen the police getting tougher on the soft drugs world. There's also been a recent tightening of the screw on coffee shops, those bars where marijuana can be purchased and consumed freely.
We had, beginning of this year, we had about 28 coffee shops in Maastricht. There were too many. We have closed about 6 or 7 coffee shops, mainly on selling hard drugs and on the disturbance of the public order.
Dat er geen minderjarigen binnenkomen en geen mensen die met harddrugs bezig zijn. Dat soort dingen zijn toch wel heel belangrijk, dat je daarop blijft letten.
First no tourists, then less coffee shops, then under surveillance of the government, then less and less are allowed, and then all of a sudden they'll close the rest.
Many think that the proposal to ban foreigners from coffee shops is a result of both national and international political pressures.
First of all, it's the European community. Other countries, for example France, try to make the policy in Holland tougher.
How can I explain to now my colleagues in Germany and in Belgium and in France that in Holland it is possible for their citizens to come here in Holland to buy things, soft drugs, that are officially forbidden, and they know it won't be prosecuted.
Second is that next year are several elections and people want to be safe in the street, and so people are trying to get some law and order back in the country.
The opponents to the new proposal are forecasting sinister consequences if this clampdown on coffee shops takes place.
It's very hard to know in an international city like Amsterdam whether you are talking to somebody who's coming from a foreign country or from Holland. I mean, even if you don't speak Dutch, you don't have to be a foreigner.
Only a second market will start. People will be street market again. Tourists will have to find somebody else to buy it for them in the shop, so they make a commission out of it. or we're going to lose our tourists.
One recent trend might be the hardest one to control: the rise of small-scale and hard-to-detect consumer-based marijuana home growing.
I think there are about 100,000 people in Holland that grow one way or another. The small growers sort of replaced half of the illegal import. Half of what's smoked today in Holland is homegrown. A typical small grower is somebody that grows within his own house. And he smokes it himself, maybe his girlfriend or his wife as well. Yeah, he makes a couple of thousand every now and then when he sells something.
As Holland edges towards tougher cannabis regulations, several European governments seem to be considering the option of decriminalisation of cannabis. Eventually, Europe might show Holland that its liberal attitude was the effective one to begin with.
In a lot of European countries, you have a big drug problem, but it's hidden. It's far away, hidden in the society. Here in Holland, it's a small drug problem. We have a small drug problem here, but it's open. You can see it.
REM and former 10,000 Maniacs vocalist Natalie Merchant have teamed up to record a song for an LP that backs women's right to choose on the issue of abortion. Other artists featuring on the LP, Born to Choose, are Tom Waits, Sugar and the Cowboy Junkies. The album features both original material and covers of famous songs like the Beatles' She Said, She Said. Here's a listen to REM's song Photograph and a statement from the group on their reasons for contributing to the album.
I found this photograph underneath broken picture glass, tender face of black and white, beautiful, haunting sight. Looked into an angel smile, captivated.
Meanwhile, the Red Hot organisation, which raises money for AIDS research through sales of benefit albums, has recently released their latest offering, No Alternative. The album includes previously unreleased songs by 21 bands, including Nirvana, Soul Asylum, Buffalo Tom, Patti Smith and Urge Overkill. Smashing Pumpkins also feature on the album. Their contribution is a song titled Glynis, which was written for a musician who died of AIDS.
That really affected me, and it got me really thinking about how people moralize about, you know, is it better to die one way than the other? You die, that's it. And so, and some of the questions that are raised around AIDS in terms of like people deserving to get it, God's punishing us and all that just infuriates me.
The Red Hot organisation has released 2 albums, Red Hot and Blue and Red Hot and Dance, since it began in 1989. Over 2 million records have been sold, raising $15 million for AIDS organisations. The chief executive of Europe's largest AIDS organisation, the Terence Higgins Trust, says music plays a large part in helping to get the AIDS message out.
I don't think it's pop's business to preach. I don't think it's, and I don't think any of the performers want to preach, but they do want to be able to say, look, I've lost friends in this. We've lost real stars. We've lost huge stars like Freddie Mercury. Far too early. He was very young. There was loads more music in that man. I think that's what brings it home to all of us, that we're losing high caliber people really young, and we can prevent that. And that's partly why music industry people have been so clear about wanting to support AIDS work across the board.